Hey guys, John here. So today I'll be going through how to do some basic redstone in Minecraft, and we're going to be going through some logic gates and ultimately how to make a very simple 2-bit binary to decimal converter like this. So right now I only have the device hooked up to show 0 and 1. But I mean, if I switch this off on 2, you'll see that the second one lights up right there. And if I switch them both on, the third one lights up right there. So let's get into how this works. So if you're familiar with electronic circuitry and Minecraft, basically redstone in Minecraft is similar to conductive wire, where it is naturally off, and then you can choose to power it on with the energy source. And in this case, it could be anything from redstone torch to a lever. And we'll be using a mix of those things for the logic gates here. Another thing you will have to know is that in Minecraft, that if you have a redstone torch like this, it's going to power the redstone next to it, but not the redstone like below it, like this right here. However, what you might notice is that if you power the block that something that can interact with redstone is sitting on top of, then it gets powered. So in this case, we can make an inverter where we can power this on, which powers off this torch and then powers off this line. Knowing these two things, we'll be able to go over here and kind of understand how this works. So, alright, so if you're a little bit familiar with computer science, you know that in computer science you can do something like if x and y, assuming we're using something like Java, then do this. So over here we have an AND gate that kind of does that. So if this and this, then that. And how this works is that there are two redstone torches right here. And just like over there where we can power a block and cause redstone to switch states, we can also immediately power the block like so, and switch the state of the redstone directly. So over here we have two redstone torches onto blocks, and thus if we turn this torch off, this one turns off. If we turn this torch off, this one turns off. And since both of these are off now, this line gets powered off, and thus this torch is not switched off anymore. So if you remember over here, when we power the block leading to a torch, then it gets powered off. And thus, when either of these are on, this line will be on, thus powering this on. This is a really simple AND gate in Minecraft. So basically, if both inputs are on, that's on. Otherwise, it's off. Okay, cool. So now that we've gone through the AND gate, let's go through the OR gate. The OR gate is extremely simple. It is it really doesn't even need to be explained, to be completely honest, but I'll just do so anyways. So basically an OR gate is using Java again, if x or y, then do this. Okay, so let's actually go over here and do this. So if this powered on, if this powered on, so if this or this, then powered on, and if both, then it's powered on anyways. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Xor Gate is just basically if either the inputs are on, then power the output. And I was building it before over there, but I actually have it built over here, and it's a little bit nicer. And basically, this is an Xor Gate. So here's our AND gate again. Our OR gate. This one's much more complicated just because I wanted to test out some different things. I thought it looks kind of cool. And this is an XOR. And XOR is basically one or the other, but not both. So we switch this one on, you can see that torch right there flips on. If we switch that off and then switch this one on the right, it switches on. However, if we switch both of them on, then it switches off. So you can see it's only one or the other and never both. And how this works is that what we're doing is actually comparing the signal twice. So over here in Minecraft, what you can do is have something called a repeater. Oh, this is interesting. Fill that out. And what the repeater can do is if you give it power, oops, like so, you can actually power the redstone under it and above the block that it's connecting to. And this is a pretty unique property of it. And this is what I manipulated here, where turning the switch on will activate the redstone down here and above here. And how the XOR gate works is that it does an AND gate right here. So if you look at the AND gate, it's the same principle where there's two torches, and if both of them get turned off, then this line right here gets turned off. And it leads to this torch right here. So it says, if both of them are on, then turn this torch on. Okay, so we know that. So what does this right torch over here do? So repeaters also have a second property where they can make sure redstone goes in a straight line. So if there was no repeater here, then it would go to these left and right ones. But since there's the repeater here, then it kind of blocks it off. So that's another property you need to know about repeaters before continuing with this. And basically, down there is just an OR gate. So on the left is a AND gate, and on the right is an OR gate. So either this one or this one is on, and this line down here gets powered, leading up to this right torch. And what this says is that if both of them are on, this one on the left gets powered on. If one of them is on, at least one of them is on, this torch on the right gets powered off. And when both of them are powered off, it will switch this one on, like so. Switching one of them on activates the OR gate, switching that off, and switching this one on. However, both of them are on, you can see that this torch is now activated, supplying power again to this. And then when both of them are off, of course, this one stays off, but that one hasn't been given any power, so it stays on, keeping this one off. So that's an XOR gate. And with knowledge of at least the AND and the OR, you don't really need to know the XOR. It's a little bit more complicated, another step to these two gates. But if you at least know the AND and the OR gates, then you can start creating your own binary to decimal converter in Minecraft. So if you're not familiar, binary is the zeros and ones in your computer that kind of make it go around. So this would be a 4-bit binary kind of line where these represent zeros on off state. And when it's on state, they represent 1. So this would be 0, 0, 0, 1. This would be 0, 0, 1, 1. Yeah, 0, 0, 1, 0, etc. And in binary, you basically have to consider these numbers as a code, where starting from the right, it'll start at 2 to the power of 0, which is equal to 1. And basically, every time you increment to the left, you'll increase that power by 1. So over here it's 2 to the first power, which is equal to 2. 2 to the second power, and that's equal to 4. And finally 2 to the third power, which is equal to 8. Let's clear that out. Alright, so that's great. They're powers of 2. Why does that matter? Well, the great thing about powers of 2 is that now you can go on and make any number you want out of these powers by adding them together. For example, 1 is equal to 1, 2 is equal to 2, and 3 is equal to 2 plus 1, and that's 3. And so on and so forth. 4, 5, 6, 7, just that general pattern. So now that we know all that, we can go on to make our 2-bit converter. Monitor logic actually doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to go through this part right here, which is all the logic. It's really simple actually, and I'll actually start it from scratch over here, I think. Let's get this orange color. And let's just say I have these 2 inputs, like this. This represents the 2 to the 0th power, which is equal to 1. And this one represents 2 to the first power, which is equal to 2. And let's do this right here. Alright, so we're going to have 3 outputs for this. We're going to have a 0, which is the default, a space is added, a 1, 2, and finally a 3. And so we want each of these to be powered. Like so. Just these here. And I think if I power these, just that one gets powered on. That's fine. This will be okay for now for demonstration purposes. Alright, so let's go through the logic, huh? Alright, so if 1 is on, we're going to power 0 off, and 1 on, and make sure the others aren't powered on. So how are we going to do this? So it's going to just be a line over here, all the way to this one. Let's put a repeater here, and that's great. There we go. There's our 1. However, missing level of logic. If the 2 is powered on, this should be powered off. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's use our repeater trick that we did before. And do this. And the reason why we're using the repeater trick here is so that we can use the line for future logic operations for 2 and 3. Alright, so we want to compare 1 and 2 here. So it's going to be 1, but not 2. So what we want to do is go over here and do something like this. How does this supposed to work? Yeah, it does. Cool. And basically what this does is it says that if one is on, then this switch turns off, allowing this switch to turn on. So for example, if one was off, this torch would turn off, thus powering one off. However, one is on, so it gets powered on. However, if two gets powered on, then this line gets powered again. Not from this torch this time, but from the 2 line itself. Depowering this torch and causing it to switch off. Pretty cool. That's pretty much all it takes to make your first binary to decimal conversion. However, now that we know this, how's it going to be useful, right? Let's see. Okay. So what we can do here is just remove this. And what I'm going to do is have a bunch of repeaters like this. And basically I'm going to say, as long as one of these are on, go over here and depower this. So this is going to represent a 0 right here, while this one is going to represent 1, 2, and 3. Alright, cool. So if one was off, alright, there we go. So there's nothing input, then that gets this gets powered on still. However, if something is input, such as 1, then 0 gets turned off, and 1 subsequently gets turned on. And I think this might be easier by can't do that right now. Alright, cool. So now we can move on to the next step, which is implementing the logic for 2. Oops. Let's move this up and get started on the logic for 2. What we want to do here is the same as before. We're going to use a redstone repeater. Go over here. Put these 2 redstone signals down, and then carry the signal over to the next operation. What we want to do here is this pretty much the exact same thing as 1, where we're going to go down here and power this torch, which is going to, how do I want to do this? Actually, let's move this back to up here, because we know that works. Okay, cool. So that, the redstone here, do that, and over here we're going to want to wrap this redstone around. Like so. And wrap it all the way around to right here. The repeater here. And so if we turn 1 on, you can see that that 1 right there turns on and that turns off. The 2 stays off, the 3 stays off. If we flip the 2 on, that'll go back to the 0 since some of the ones are being powered on. And if we unpower the 1, oh, that's very interesting. Okay, so basically what's happening here is if I just depower that, there we go, that works. So what I can do here is a couple things. I can put a repeater down, I think. And then over here I'll just have a back wire that connects to this. I think it should work, yeah. Cool. Looks like it's not powering this, so yeah. Looks like it's working. Sweet. Alright, now we have like 2 down. We can move on to our next one, which is going to be 3. And 3 is just going to be an AND gate, which we were discussing before. We used versions of OR gates here, where if this one is on or that one's on, have this one off. If this one's on or this one's on, have this one off. Now we're going to use an AND gate, where we're going to say if both of them are on, then the third lantern should be on. So let's go ahead and do that. And technically we don't need these repeaters here just because we're only doing a 2-bit input right now. But let's just say we want to expand it to a 4-bit input. Then we would need to carry these on. But for right now, that's all we need to do. Alright, so for the 3-bit, it's going to be just an AND gate. So we're going to go over here, put these 2 torches down. And these torches are going to power these 2 torches. Like so. Yeah. Oops. We're just going to spiral this one down. Like so. And basically we're going to say something like this. Nope, maybe I didn't. Nope. No. Alright, so we're going to say that if both of them are off, so if this and this are off, this gets powering on the 3 right here. So let's test that out. Not working out. Let's see why. So they're both powering. Oh, I think I need to invert what they have to do here. Let's see, how am I going to do this? So if this one is on and this one is on, this should be turned on. I think what I had before was correct. Let's just check out our AND gate right here. And indeed, we have the 2 torches. Okay, it's leading to that. So I think this is all we need to do. Supposedly. Yeah. Cool. And there you go. We have our 2-bit binary to decimal converter. Not too bad. And for the monitor, all you need to do is literally go over here and just reach up into the monitor wires and tell just have an interface which says if 0 is on, power this line, and this line will power this one, this one, this one, etc. until it hits 0 on the screen right here. And if it's a 1, power on the next line. Like so. So here's the 1 right here. It's going to power this white line right here, and subsequently send power to all of the right black wires that are connected to this monitor right here. And that's pretty much all you have to do. Just repeat that until you can get a bunch of numbers. And over here is actually a little bit of a larger calculator. Good. Takes a little bit longer to show everything, but it works. There's the 2, and I'm not sure if it still shows the 3 if there was a bug. Okay, yeah, it shows the 3. There were some bugs with it beforehand. It was kind of a project out of hand, but it was really fun to do. And yeah, I mean, as soon as you can understand some of the basic principles behind how redstone works, how to implement and or gates and so on, you can start doing some pretty cool things in Minecraft, where you can start building your computer that does pretty complex calculations, for example. I remember watching one video on YouTube where somebody made a calculator that can do sine, cosine, tangent, and everything that a scientific calculator can do. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I guess I'll end this with a nice little look at what I've been working on the creative side. And yeah, thanks for watching.